Hey Boo, I recently received this comment on a video that I had published about 2 months ago called "It Is Done, You Have Your Desire." And the commenter wrote this: I am not able to remove the doubt in me whether I can manifest what I desire. Even though I am trying to believe, I am not able to do it. I am feeling resistance. Can you please help me through it? And I'm grateful for that question. I feel for someone like that who is feeling a struggle to comfortably manifest, that there is resistance where what they want is that sense of relaxation around it, even surrender in the larger sense, in the deeper sense. But resistance comes up. And in fact, recently, a client had mentioned to me, and I asked if I could include that in a video, and they said yes, because this actually fits so perfectly, that they often feel resistance when their manifestation, their desire is right there, or the opportunity to expand themselves in some way is right there. That resistance comes up. And I know that this is something that many of you are feeling at different times. I've certainly experienced resistance many times in my life when I thought my phone was going to fall over. That the very thing you want, suddenly you're feeling like, maybe I'm not supposed to have this, or what if I have this and this happens, or what if it causes me to have to do this? But some form of a what if shows up, or some form of doubt, or feeling, and this is even bigger, less than deserving of it. So all of these things have become, especially when we become conscious about manifesting, they become extra difficult. Remember, manifesting is something that we have all been doing since the day we were born, but we weren't conscious about it. You always have been manifesting, and you experience the various ups and downs. As Neville Goddard said, whatever befalls you, whatever arises, was manifested by you. So it's when you suddenly are told, and you can do this consciously, you can be the one to bring a sense of control over how your reality is going, to literally shape your destiny, to move into it as you desire, to have what you are here to have. But we kind of put the brakes on. We want to hold that desire that's right there for us, the fulfillment, the built-in fulfillment of the desire. We want to hold it at arm's length, like, oh, wait a minute. And if this has happened for you, drop a note in the comment. Let me know if this is something that's come up a lot for you at different times through your life, or when something really big was coming to you. And it's really a question of recognizing when that resistance trigger, and it really could be classified as a kind of a trigger. But a trigger is really a way that we fight against ourselves. It's really not from the thing itself. It's from the ideas we have built up in relation to it. And in Romans 13, 1 to 14, KJV, it says, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of God. And you can substitute here the cosmos, the universe, the higher self, or the one mind. For there is no power but of God. You, the operant power, that operates the law of assumption, that takes on the desire and the fulfillment of the desire, is one. It's embedded, it's together. And as it says, the powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resists or resisteth, as it says in biblical language, the power, resists the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. That's pretty heavy. But basically, we are damning ourselves. We're judging and condemning ourselves by resisting. So, in a sense, it's the idea of allowing resistance to show up, and to take another Bible metaphor, turn the other cheek to it. You can just notice it. You might say, hey, resistance, looking at you, I see you. And just acknowledge that it's there, rather than trying to suppress it. You're actually saying, okay, I know I'm in resistance, but I am not going to allow this resistance to become bigger than me. You are greater than any resistance. You are greater than any state. You are greater than any resistance, because all of it is within consciousness. And noticing it is noticing from the state or from the position of witness, of the witness consciousness. And the witness consciousness within you is what simply is aware of what arises. It's aware of the good stuff and the bad stuff and the challenging stuff and the sucky stuff. It's aware of it all. But it is, in a sense, impartial. It's just seeing it arise. So in seeing it and actually shining the light of consciousness on it, will it will extract that toxic energy from it. Because when it's just neutralized, it loses its sting, it loses its force. So you can shift gears and substitute the resistance with giving yourself permission to receive. Because not having it, the resisting may come from the feeling of not deserving it, or feeling embarrassed about it, or feeling reluctance to claim ownership of it. Even though it's something that the divine within you connected with on the hotline of your desire. God speaks to us through the medium of our desire. It is the platform of communication and intimacy with God, of what you prayed for, what you demanded, asked for, claimed. And when that happens, instead of resisting, you will literally see it and feel it just drop into your lap. And resistance isn't, although it seems to be about strength, that I got to push this away. I got to push this away. It's really not. It's actually that kind of resistance can be exhausting. It's trying to hold something at bay. But that is so depleting. So what you end up having is something that's depleting your resources rather than shoring up, rather than elevating and exalting your deservingness. Valuing yourself, celebrating that you have moved the world, that everything has shifted. The world has literally shifted on its axis to favor you. This is that I am. That I am is what already has this desire, that has no reason to resist. Remember, resistance comes from that you're lacking it. And it's almost like lack is going to be preferred here. But as I said in an earlier video, there is no lack in God. If God lacks anything, it's lack itself. So there's nothing to resist because you have it. As A Course in Miracles says, being and having are the same. So if you are owning your I am state and you are one in your I am, then it has to be yours. There's no error in that. And this really goes straight to that epic quote from Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love, from a number of years ago. And it was a viral quote that's probably still out there, that begins by saying our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure, that we are actually more afraid of our own light than our darkness. And that's very true, because we can become comfortable kind of hiding in the dark. You know, my late husband used to say when somebody was not wanting to really recognize their own value, their own greatness, he said it was like they were saying, I'll just sit here in the dark and eat worms. You know, it's that kind of trying to be as small as possible to avoid the light. But it's not the outer light, it's the inner light, the power of our own inner light. So when you are doubting yourself and being in resistance to yourself, you are doubting and resisting God, because that's you. God is within you. God is seeing through your eyes. God is listening through your ears. Neville has talked about this, and it is that greatness that reaches into everything, that makes everything easy when we imagine it's difficult. And if you recognize that you are resisting God, you are resisting God within you. But as is said, God will not be mocked, because it's trying to make God small. But God is, your I am, is your essential self before anything else. Neville called it the first principle. So it's the primary state is I am. So it's for you to resist resistance and dig in, stand fast. It's not to, when the thing you want comes, is there for you. And part of that is why people have said to me, or I've seen it in comments where they've said, yeah, when I get what I thought I wanted, I feel sort of just meh. And that meh is really resistance to having it, or reluctance to fully step in and claim it. So it's to reject and resist resistance, and to start rejecting when the doubts come up around it, the doubting Thomas, the disciple Thomas, the doubt. It's to stop doubting and to open to that, receiving, not resisting, each and every time that sense of resistance shows up. So why not remove the resistance, remove the barrier, and let the walls come down so that you can receive. This is really receiving the keys to heaven each and every time. That's another key to heaven. The kingdom of heaven is receiving. And just to move from that state of lack to remembering that you are the power that has it all. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video, if it resonated with you, if it helped you in any way, give it a like, share it, post in the comments, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you, boo. See you soon.